All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Cincinnati Bengals rookie offensive guard Dylan Fairchild. Fairchild in his debut against the Philadelphia Eagles in the preseason did a lot of really good things. Offensive guard has been not a bright spot for the Cincinnati offense, to put it mildly, but Fairchild has a bright future. Could be exactly what the Bengals have been looking for. We'll break down everything he did against Philly. As always, in the comment section below, give us another player you want us to break down, plus any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get things going to pass protection right there. There's Fairchild, of course, at left guard, the rookie for the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to get a slide protection right here to the offensive left, the right side of your screen. Left tackle working this way, Fairchild working this way to this gap, center working this way right here. Fairchild's responsibility is to pick up number 95. If 95 works that way, he hangs on him and looks for someone else to fire in this gap. He does a good job. Let's check it out. I get a little motion. There's a snap. You can see right there, left tackle, left guard, center, looking to the right side of your screen, there left. He sees 95, hands him off, looks for someone to come, no one coming, goes back for work. Good job, good clean work, get things going solid, Fairchild. All right, from the wide copy, you can see him right there. We get the motion right there. Slides over at the snap, there it is. 95 goes inside, hand him off to your center, nice work. Look for someone else coming, no one else is coming, come back to the defensive tackle. Solid start for Dylan Fairchild. All right, going with the little running game now. So the left tackle is going to work in base out there. We're going to get a double team right here between the center and Fairchild working up to the middle linebacker. We're going to get a base there, and we're going to get this tight end, H-back right there, fullback, whatever you want to call him in this alignment, inserting right here for the backside linebacker. You can see where this hole is supposed to go schematically, pretty much right here after the handoff, because you can see all this green grass right here. This is a situation that's really tough for Fairchild because he knows the center is going to be coming off early to pick up the linebacker. He's going to base this defensive tackle, square him up, and just keep walking, stay with it to give movement. Solid job. Some things to work on, though. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the double team right there. Center coming off early, picking up the linebacker. Not bad from him. Tight end, fullback, whatever you want to call him, inserting for 42. Solid work. Base blocks across the board, pretty solid. Let's look at Fairchild right here at left guard. Again, he works on this double team 95. He feels the center go away, so he stays on him, keeps working, drives till he finishes the play. Again, is this an elite rep from Fairchild? You know, not really. If he would have done a little bit better job fighting, and you can see 95 is able to play off the block a little bit there. Maybe this could have been a big play. You can see wide receiver inserting. Maybe this running back could have popped it a little bit better. But to be fair, as this play develops, the center leaves so early, right? And that's one of the things, it's hard to get timing right as a rookie. That's some of the things that's going to get cleaned up with more repetition and practice in the preseason. This is a circumstance where I think he felt the center would have stayed on longer. That's why see how he's only on half the 95 there? He probably would have thought the center would have stayed on more, and then he would have gradually worked over to take up more. Then he's kind of reacting, but his effort is good. Still a productive run play here for the Bengals offense. From the wide copy, get a good look at it right there. This double team at the point of attack. You can see the center leaves so early. I think that surprised Fairchild, but he stays on him, keeps working his feet. Look at this movement when it's all said and done. Look at where the snap is, guys. We're looking at the snap is, let's go back to the very beginning, the 29-yard line, their own 29-yard line. Look where he walks this defensive lineman back by the time he comes off and makes a play. The 32, we're talking 3 yards of movement, stays on and helps finish the pile for a good 5-yard run. Again, if this is the worst you get at an offensive guard, that's a really good sign for the Bengals going forward. All right, sticking with the running game, we're going to get double teams inside right here between the center and guard. Once again, working up to the linebacker. This defensive tackle lines up in a 2-eye right there. We call him a 2-eye because he's on the inside eye of the guard. We got this defensive tackle over here, for example. He's lined up on the outside shoulder of the guard. We call it a 3 technique just to refresh everybody. But again, double teams across the board. Double team here, working up to the linebacker. Base block working out, double team right here working up to the linebacker. We've got tight end cutoff right here. We've got the running back hitting this gap just like this. You talk about a great double team right here. These two guys do a really nice job on this play, getting movement at the point of attack. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the double teams across the board. Let's watch the center and the young guy, Dylan Fairchild. They get on this guy. See how they both square him up right there? This is what I was talking about where on the previous play, Fairchild probably felt the center left early because see how long the center stays on? That's about closer to what you would expect from a double team. They walk him off the line of scrimmage. They get on the linebacker, drive everyone back. This is a really nice rep. Again, you talk about movement, dislocating the defense. They get vertical movement. They push them horizontally as well. They get up to the second level. Really nice job here for this Bengals offensive line. Looking at Fairchild right there, really good look at it right here. Watch this double team at the snap. They get on right there, the contact. Where is it at? The 46-yard line. Look where they walk him back. all the way across the 45, all across midfield. That's about 5 yards of movement right there. Really nice work here, right here. Dylan Fairchild runs his feet. He's very under control. See how he doesn't get over his skis? He's very calm, very methodical. Keeps a good sort of base, a good sort of fundamental. He's not wild, right? One of the things that could happen with young guys is they get a little head over heels. They get a little overextended. That means they can give up some really negative plays. Not Fairchild. He's very steady. He's got a good base and just slowly and methodically works defensive linemen back. Nice rep, nice double team. All right, sticking with the running game, there's Fairchild, of course, at left guard for Cincinnati. We're going to get an inside zone concept right here for the Bengals. We're going to get the tackle working out. We're going to get the guard base blocking here. We're going to get the center taking one step over, protecting that gap before working up to the next level. Then we're going to get a zone double team right here between the left tackle and Fairchild. Fairchild's going to work into this gap and try and get some movement here while Orlando Brown comes over to take him over, eventually cut him off. Both these guys trying to work up to the next level right here. And the running back taking this track and following these guys basically right there. Let's watch Dylan Fairchild again. Point of attack, doing a really good job staying on his guy under control, getting movement where it matters most. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the double team right there. You can see walking back, working up. Nice job at the point of attack. Compare that to the right guard right here who gets beat with the swim move, kind of blows up the entire play right there. This is what I'm talking about when you get overextended head over heels and why I like Dylan Fairchild with his really solid fundamental stance right here. So you can see Lucas Patrick, I think that's who that is, gets beat right there, clean whiff. Good move by number 96, credit where credit is due. But you can see that kind of blows up the play because if the running back could have just hit right here a little bit on the left side of this hash, they could have really creased that. Instead, the running back sees 96 for Philly Flash and he's got to bounce it. But look at this double team right here between Fairchild and Orlando Brown. Just walking him back, steady, under control. Nothing crazy, nothing flashy, just solid work. Again, look where it starts. Ball was snapped where? I think that's called that right here at the 8 or 18 or whatever that is. Get a little snap right there. Look where they walking back. 3 yards, 3.5 yards, right there. So I think that was the 8. The ball was snapped at the 8. Where did they walk back 95? Slow, steady, methodical, all the way back to the 5. We're talking 3 yards of movement at the point of attack. Walk him into the linebacker. You can see 42 gets caught in the trash there. They actually get a piece of him. Again, really good double team. Really good job. Under control, calm, cool, and collective. Dylan Fairchild. For the wide copy, get a good look at it. Watch it. Get into him and just walk him back. Walk him back. Calm, cool, methodical. Is it just incredibly sexy? Is it just a dominating play? Is it a pancake? No, but it's just nice, steady, slow, consistent, good rep. All right, how about some one-on-one pass rush? So here the Bengals are going to slide the protection to the offensive right, the left side of your screen. The center is going to take this gap, most likely picking up number 96. The right guard is going to take this gap. He's going to help on 96. Right tackle is going to basically be number 1 on 0, which means we're going to get one-on-one right here on the backside. Guard on Fairchild on 95, guard one-on-one, and tackle one-on-one right here on the edge as well. Let's watch the rookie right here. One-on-one pass row, absolutely dominate. Great rep. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the offensive line slide to the right, the left side of your screen. Let's look at Fairchild one-on-one. Calm, good shot, good punch. Look at this punch, guys. Right into his chest, completely gets the defensive lineman off the space, stays with him, good extension, keep the distance. Again, he's like technically sound like a boxer, right? Just keeps a good distance. He's calm. Look at this. Again, slow, methodical, steady, right? It's almost like he's Joe Cool at the guard position, guys, as a rookie. He's so calm, so cool, doesn't overreact, does a really great job. Nice rep from Dylan Fairchild. All right, look at it from the wide copy. Again, good punch, stays with him, stays with him. Boy, this has got to frustrate you. I mean, look at this from the Cincinnati Bengals. Look at this tight end, guys. You're in the red zone. Quarterback's looking maybe that direction to hit you, and you're on the ground. That's crazy. But anyway, let's look at Dylan Fairchild. Again, good punch, good base, calm, cool, collective. That's Joe Cool. I don't know what we call Dylan Fairchild, but he executes at that same kind of demeanor. Good job once again. All right, how about some stunt pickup from Dylan Fairchild? There he is, of course, at the left guard position. Offensive line is going to slide the gap to the right, just like this. So what's going to happen is this defensive tackle lined up in a 2-eye technique. He's going to take one step into Fairchild and then loop around just like this. And then they're going to bring the edge rusher to come around through Fairchild, right through his face. It's actually a really good design here by the Philadelphia Eagles schematically. So what they do is by having this guy be a little wider 2-eye, they force this tackle to go more horizontal. He gets a little, or this guard, Dylan Fairchild, force him to go horizontal, gets a little on his heels, so that way when this guy loops around, he can just strike him right in the face, and he's kind of flat-footed. Really good design here by the Eagles defense. But Fairchild does a good enough job, gives Joe Burrow all he needs to get the ball out of his hands cleanly. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Again, he squares up 93. He's on his heels a little bit, right, because he's got to work horizontally to get over there. Then 48 comes around, shocks him in the chest, but he does a good enough job, right? He doesn't get blown up, doesn't get thrown right into Burrow or anything like that. Again, fundamentally sound, clean, good pocket, completion, move the ball forward. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Fairchild right there at the snap as he tries to go a little bit more horizontally to pick up this wider two-eye technique. You see right there, little flat-footed, 48 comes around, but he's got his head on a swivel. He picks him up, gives Joe Burrow all he needs to get the ball out of his hands. Good enough. All right, some more one-on-one pass protection. There's Fairchild right there, one-on-one on a three technique. This is a situation where the three technique, the defensive tackle usually has to win. He's got a three-way go. He can go outside, he can go through, he can go inside. Fairchild, though, wins despite that disadvantage. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. Again, he squares him up. Defensive lineman tries to go outside. He handles that, tries to counter inside, squares him up right there. Good, clean work. Again, he's so calm, so fundamentally sound. Doesn't get over his heels a little bit right there, right? You can see his heels kind of click, but he corrects, right? Problem happens, resettles, re-gets his base. Good job. Uses his hands very well, doesn't hold. Again, very well coached. These Georgia guys are very, very well coached. We see this here from Dylan Fairchild. He's got a very, very bright future in this Bengals offense. All right, out wide, you can see right there, squares him up, gets a little off balance right there at the top. Good little sort of counter move by Philadelphia's defensive lineman, but Fairchild reacts, squares him up. Again, decent enough pocket for Joe Burrow to hit the running back for a good gain. All right, some under center action. Don't see that a whole lot from the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is going to be a toss outside concept right here. We're going to get sort of a pin right here from the tight end before he's going to work up to try and cut someone off. And we're going to get Orlando Brown taking over 95 before he works up to the next level, all to allow Fairchild to slowly work his way over to this defensive lineman. A lot of lines and arrows on the screen here. But basically, before it's all said and done, Fairchild is going to move from right here at the guard position all the way over this defensive end to cut him off. A decent job. Shows off a little bit of his athleticism. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see a little help from the tight end. Orlando Brown helping up. Everyone working up to the next level. Really nice run. Look at this hole right here. That's a nice little crease. Big part of that is Fairchild working over, working through the trash, working over, picking him up, right? Again, is it a dominating rep? Is it beautiful? Is it going to make the highlight reel? No, of course not. But it's good enough. And these kind of plays, again, working from a guard to a defensive end, that's hard work. Good design, good job by the tight end, getting up to the linebacker. Orlando Brown out in space. Nice running play here for Cincinnati. All right, worst play of the night for Dylan Fairchild. There he is at left guard. So you can see we're going to get a gap concept here for the Bengals. He's going to work out. Guard's going to work out. We're supposed to get a double team right here working with that linebacker right here. And we're going to get a double team right here working up to this linebacker right here for Cincinnati. What happens, though, once again, the center feels this linebacker firing. So he leaves this double team super early. Fairchild isn't ready for it. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the base blocks over there. We can see the double teams between the right tackle or left tackle, and tight end working up to the linebacker, right? That's what's going on that side. Let's take a look at Fairchild right here. Double team. You see 61 goes into him. He's surprised by that. He's expecting more double team. He gets shocked. This defensive lineman is able to shed and help make the play. Again, got to be a little bit more aware. This is one of those things where sometimes we like to be a little bit more aggressive off the rip. This is one of the downsides of being very calm and cool, is that every once in a while someone will just hit you in the mouth. This is something I think Fairchild, with more repetition, will find that sweet spot from being a little bit more methodical in the run game to a little bit more aggressive off his first two steps. Still a good game overall for Fairchild, but definitely something to work on here from the young rookie. All right, once again, 1-1 pass protection. There's Fairchild right there. You can see 95 for Philadelphia. He's lined up in a three technique. Once again, the Bengals are going to slide their protection in that way, which means we got 1-on-1 right here, which means, once again, this defensive lineman has a three-way go. He decides to go with an outside rush right there. Fairchild does a good job recognizing and reacting. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see 95 going with an outside rush. You can see they're actually firing number 54 on a blitz right there. That's not ideal, but Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, just stands in the face of it, delivers a strike, ends up being a touchdown. That's how good he is, right? You got a linebacker with the dead rights right there, going to kill your quarterback, ends up resulting in a touchdown. Tells you how special number 9 is. But let's look at Fairchild. 95 goes outside, oversets right there in problem situation, but he stays on him, runs his feet, ends up winning the rep. He's got a really good recovery and pass protection. We saw that numerous times, showed that a lot in college. I think his methodical nature in the running game helps him out to slowly get movement and not get overextended. I think a little bit more aggressive couldn't help. But interestingly enough, he's a little aggressive in the pass set game, but he's able to recover very well like you see here. Good rep, results in a touchdown for Cincinnati. All right, so this is one of my favorite plays from Dylan Fairchild. So what the Bengals are going to do is they're going to slide their protection right here to the offensive left, the right side of your screen. So Orlando Brown's going to take that gap. Fairchild's going to take that gap. And center's going to work to take over this gap, number 95. What ends up happening is Fairchild ends up having no one in this gap. So he gets out here and he ends up looking for work, and he finds it, delivering an impact blow to help out his buddy. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see they slide that protection to the left. 13 works outside into Orlando Brown. What does Fairchild do? The moment his guy goes away, okay, let me turn my head and find someone to hit. Boom. Rib shot down on the ground. It's like a boxing shot, right? You hit him in the ribs. The body dies. Look at that. Oh my goodness, like a kidney punch. That's awful. That has to hurt. Gee whiz. But I love that from Fairchild, right? You've got your guy disappear, go looking for work, right? You don't get paid to guard grass. Punish these defenders in pass rush. Love to see it. Nice catch. All right, looks good from the wide copy. Watch Fairchild right here. He sets to 13 for Philadelphia. 13 goes outside. He immediately goes looking for work, delivers a shot, puts him in the ground. Great job from the guard. All right, let's end on another win from Dylan Fairchild there. Of course, he is once again at left guard, as I'm sure you're tired of me saying at the point of this cut up. We're going to see a one-on-one pass rush here. Again, 95 with the three-way go. Can go inside, can go through, can go around. Doesn't matter how many arrows I draw on the screen. Dylan Fairchild will prevent him from getting to the quarterback. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Again, Fairchild sets to him. Calm, cool, collected. Again, he misses initially with his hands. That's one thing to work on technically, but his recovery is outstanding. Good base. You know, again, right there, good position. You like maybe a little bit lower pad level, but otherwise that's high-level stuff. Even though he misses with his hands, he moves his feet extremely well. That's why he's so good to recover. Squares up 95, stays on him, no pressure in the quarterback's face, able to go through his reads and hit the running back. Again, guard has been a problem for a long time for the Cincinnati Bengals offense. I think they've got the answer in Dylan Fairchild.